As we have been watching and reading recently, there has been an aggressive push towards the legislation of Sunday law under the guise of climate change. Notice with me once again what Sister White says here. This is from Great Controversy 592, paragraph 3. Rulers and legislators, in order to secure public favor, will yield to the popular demand for a law enforcing Sunday observance. And there has been a major popular demand. As we have looked at videos and articles, we have seen young people, we have seen many thousands have gone out into the streets in many diverse countries in this world, demanding action, especially as a result of the recent climate change COP24 meetings that they just had in Poland. Now we have been seeing a much more aggressive movement. The people, the popular demand is here. The Sunday law is making its way in darkness indeed. Notice with me what this article says here. More than 1.6 million signed petition to sue France over climate change. That was December 24th, 2018 from the Olympian. Then it goes on to say, more than 1.5 million people have signed an online petition to take the French state to court for not doing enough to fight climate change. Now, this is taking place in the country of France, and it is also taking place in many other countries. Now, keep in mind, in Paris, which is France, in Paris, they already have a climate change Sunday law. One Sunday a month where the city of Paris is supposed to be a car-free day, and you can only walk or using your bicycle to go from one place to another. Now they are demanding, the people, the popular demand, they are demanding more action. They are not satisfied with just one Sunday a month just in the city of Paris. They want the entire country. They want the rulers, the legislators of the entire countries to take more action, meaning there will be more restrictions on Sunday. There will be more Sunday observance throughout the whole nation. And we are once again seeing how this is taking place very subtly, very rapidly, and in darkness. Notice with me what Sister White says here on the screen. She says, the whole earth heaves and swells like the waves of the sea. Its surface is breaking up. Its very foundations seem to be giving way. Mountain chains are sinking. Inhabited islands disappear. The seaports that have become like Sodom for wickedness are swallowed up by the angry waters. That's Great Controversy 636. Now, this was written to describe what will take place in the last days, in the great time of trouble, when the voice of God is heard and shakes the earth. But we are already experiencing these things happening. The waves are angry, as Luke chapter 21 tells us. Men's hearts failing them for fear because of what's coming upon the earth. Now, speaking of the waves, speaking of tsunami, recently, once again, just a few days ago, the country of Indonesia just experienced another tsunami. Last time they had a major tsunami was back in September. Then the month before that, which was August, they had a major earthquake. Again, thousands, hundreds of people had been killed. And recently, just again last weekend, Saturday evening, their time, they had another tsunami. But this one was unlike the other ones because this one was not caused by an earthquake. This one was caused by a volcanic eruption that has been dumping lava into the ocean, which caused this reaction, which caused this tsunami. But notice with me, while this was going on, notice what happened. Next article here from the New York Post. It says tsunami sweeps away boy band mid-performance in Indonesia. Now, while this band, this rock band was performing, that's when this wave came, swept many of them away. As a result of this, many members from this band, this rock band, died. Notice with me this video here.
Many people were at a concert or on a holiday before Christmas when the deadly tsunami struck without warning. Hundreds of people, including those at the pop concert, were killed as waves smashed into houses, hotels and other buildings Saturday night along Indonesia's Sunda Strait. It was the second deadly tsunami to hit Indonesia in just 3 months. But early investigations suggest that this one was different and perhaps not so easy to predict. Here's why. Officials believe the tsunami was caused by the eruption of Anak Krakatau, one of the world's much feared volcanic islands. Anak Krakatau, or Child of Krakatoa, sits in the Sunda Strait between the islands of Sumatra and Java. Officials say the eruption triggered a massive underwater landslide, violently displacing the waters and sending huge waves crashing into both sides of the Sunda Strait about 24 minutes later. Most tsunamis are triggered by massive underwater earthquakes. Right before Indonesia's last major tsunami in September, there was a powerful earthquake, which gave residents a brief warning before the waves struck. But this time, the ground didn't shake, and people were taken by surprise when the waves hit.
Although the wave was just a metre high in most places, it came in with such force that it carried with it people, debris, belongings, bits of buildings, and even entire vehicles, smashing them against each other.
Experts said even with an early warning system in place, the tsunami on Saturday night may still have been difficult to anticipate.
Those tsunami waves travel in that depth of water at 200 or 300 kilometres an hour. That means they're going to reach the nearby shores in just a few minutes. So that's very little warning time, even if you know the instant the collapse happens.
Indonesia has already suffered 2 major natural disasters this year. In August, an earthquake and a series of aftershocks slammed the resort island of Lombok, killing more than 500 people. A month later, a 7.5 magnitude quake triggered a tsunami and liquefied the earth, burying entire neighbourhoods on the island of Sulawesi. More than 2,000 people died. Officials say the death toll could rise further as rescue teams reach hardest hit areas.
Rescuers are painstakingly combing through the wreckage, pulling bodies one by one as they look through the destroyed hotels, dig underneath cars, and pull up the rubble that was washed in by the wave.
Officials warn residents to stay away from the coastline. Anak Krakatau has been erupting since June and is still active. It's possible that another eruption could trigger yet another tsunami.
Now, as you just watched this video, this was an awful thing that happened. The question that comes to mind at the same time, where would you be found when disaster strike? Notice with me another article here from CNN. It says Indonesia, tsunami, grim search for survivors continues as death toll tops 420. That was December 25th, 2018. Another article here, this time from the New York Times, December 25th, 2018. Indonesia, no tsunami threat, but it was still, notice, blindsided by killer waves. Again, as I asked the question a moment ago, where would you be when disaster strikes? Now, these folks were at a rock concert, and we were told, we just read, that this tsunami took them by surprise. Why? Because there was no warning, no tsunami warning, because it was not caused by an earthquake, it was caused by volcanic eruptions. Where would we be? This is the reason why. Let's go to the book of Luke with me. The book of Luke, this is why Jesus says, again, to answer the question, where would we be? Where would you be when disaster strikes? And the Bible says in chapter 12 of the book of Luke, Luke chapter 12, Jesus says in verse 40, be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. Jesus Christ is coming again, but at an hour when many will think not. Where would we be when disaster strikes? Notice another passage here, this time in chapter 21 of the same book. Luke chapter 21 of the same book. And let's look at verse 36. Again, Jesus is speaking. He says, "Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to do what? To stand before the Son of Man." So we need to watch. We need to be vigilant. We need to be ready at any moment, because we do not know when disaster will strike. We do not know if we will see tomorrow. We want to make sure that we are ready at any moment, regardless of what happened, till the Master comes or till we breathe our last. God bless.